Hey, folks, thanks for checking out the Foolish Canuck podcast. This intro is going to be relatively short, but I'm Chris Timms. This is episode number 4. It's an In the News episode where I sit down with my lady friend. We go over some news stories, headlines that are kind of silly, ridiculous, or we just find interesting, and we talk about them. That's pretty much what we do in this episode, in these types of episodes. So give it a listen. And hope you enjoy it. And if you do, check out foolishcanuck.com, and you can find out other things that I got going on. And if you want to support us, go to the bottom of the page, and you can hit this, support link, and it'll tell you a bunch of ways you can help out the podcast and the other things that we're working on. All right. Well, here it is. Without further ado, episode number 4. Enjoy.
You can just open them all right now.
We're ready to go.
Okay.
Hello, Katie.
Hi, Chris. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Second episode, or the second, installment of In the News, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Good.
Did you have an exciting week?
Not really. Sorry.
We're off to a swimming start in this podcast.
Well, nothing that's noteworthy.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
It means nothing bad happened, right?
Right.
So for those of you who haven't heard, the first installment of these types of episodes, so the Foolish Canuck podcast, I may have mentioned it in the intro, or if you've listened to previous podcasts, you may have heard me talk about it. We have 3 different types of episodes, and this just happens to be one of them. It's called In the News, and I go through a bunch of stories that I've collected throughout the week, and we discuss it with a guest. And once again, my lovely lady friend is joining us, Katie, and let's get into it. Let's just jump right in. We're still working this out and how it's going to work and the flow and all that, but I figure no better thing to do than just fucking dive right in, right?
Right.
All right. So the first article that I've come across is artificial tongue can distinguish between whiskeys.
Okay, yeah.
So they've created a fake tongue.
Why? Okay.
People have dreams. Scientists revealed Tuesday they have come up with an artificial tongue which can distinguish subtle differences between whiskeys. Experts at the University of Glasgow, because of course, right? Mm-hmm. What else are the Scots going to do? They're like, we're going to create a fucking robotic tongue that's going to distinguish against whiskeys. Anyway. They've built the miniature taster, which can even tell the difference between the same brand aged in different barrels with more than 99% accuracy. That's an impressive tongue. It can also distinguish between whiskeys aged 12, 15, and 18 years. Fuck 13, 14, 16, and 17. But if you're 12, 15, and 18, we got you covered. Though I think that's just because those are the 3 different years that whiskeys are aged, and I just showed my ignorance in whiskeys. Mm-hmm. I'll continue. The technology can identify a host of different chemicals within a complex mixture. It could be used not only for the quality control, but also to combat the booming counterfeit alcohol trade. The method found several hugely expensive bottles of whiskey to be fake. Quote, "We call this an artificial tongue because it acts similarly to a human tongue," said Alistair Clark of the University of Glasgow's School of Engineering. Like us, it can identify the individual chemicals which make coffee taste different to apple juice, but it can easily tell the difference between these complex chemical mixtures. It's like, is this a necessary invention, is what I'm wondering?
Well, what I was wondering, the Scots invented this?
University of Glasgow, yeah.
To keep, counterfeit alcohol from coming in?
Well, okay, so...
obviously not going out if they want to send out counterfeit alcohol.
No, it's to distinguish against, this is good alcohol, this is shitty alcohol. Hang on. Slight changes of color. Hang on. Sorry, folks. I scrolled ahead a little too far here. So basically, whiskey is poured over a checkerboard pattern of tiny pieces of gold and aluminum, which act as taste buds, and researchers then measure how they absorb light while submerged. How that tells what the taste is, I don't know. I guess the chemical makeup, but slight changes of color in the gold and aluminum pieces are measured to build up a statistical profile for each of the samples tested. Quote, in addition to its obvious potential for use in identifying counterfeit alcohols, it could be used in food safety testing, quality control, security, really anywhere where a portable, reusable method of tasting would be useful. So like kings back in the day would love this thing.
Yeah.
You know, instead of having your court jester die every other Thursday, you can just like pull out this fake tongue and be like, lick your food with it. And
see if it's poisonous.
Yeah, I think it's good. Annabelle, sorry, ma'am, Michael, director of Keepers of the, Quietch? It's a society of whiskey experts, said that the industry would welcome the technology. We really, as an industry, would welcome something which would help stamp out the counterfeit whiskey. I guess this is like a big thing in the UK or, Scotland. I don't think the master blenders are going to be quaking in their boots, but will be really quite grateful. She said, you could identify counterfeit whiskey by taste, but the technology we could use to replace some of the vast amount of routine human taste testing. So yeah, like I was saying, like the kings and queens.
I guess like this was pretty cool, but unnecessary, I guess.
Well, I look at it from a different angle, right? I look at it as, we're one step closer to robots being that much better than us. So if they've already created the artificial tongue, Jesus, like they'll be able to drink whiskey and enjoy it better than we can because they got gold and aluminum tongues.
Well, and I mean, I guess then at that point too, so are we then enjoying artificial taste at some point? Like, what about if our taste buds don't pick up what their taste buds do, and then we start being accustomed to?
Oh, you mean talking about the robots or just the artificial tongue?
Well, the tongue or the robots. If then because the tongue has robotic technology behind it, right?
Yeah.
So eventually, if it says, "Oh, this isn't good enough," like if there's, let's say, we'll use whiskey as an example, a whiskey out there that you really enjoy, but then the tongue decides, no, that's not the right taste of it, then you like lose out on something.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then they become superior, right?
Yeah, by tasting.
Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the idea because I'm just thinking it's like I posed it in an interesting in a weird way because like what does it matter what the robots taste?
No, but I guess when you start adding the other body parts on. I'm just saying they got right now. They're really good at the tongue part. I don't know why they started with the tongue part.
Well, I'm sure they got some pretty decent dicks out there, and they got the. I guess they go with the sex bots. They give them they can taste it. But why would the sex bot need to taste? I don't know. This is what my nuts taste like. Yeah.
Well, if it was a male sex bot, you could be like, "This tastes delicious," and then I guess you get a really good feedback on that. Like, this is equivalent to. Tuna and rice.
And rice? I think rice really has a taste. Yeah, well, if you don't want to go down on a tuna casserole, this robot could tell. Well, there's another use for it, right?
There we go. Am I ready for my date tonight,
Flash
robot?
red. Stay in. I just think it's funny that they created this thing to test whiskey.
Yeah.
Like that was
the sole purpose, whiskey.
I know. To me, that's funny. Anyway, moving on. It seems irrelevant.
8 minutes irrelevant. No.
There we go.
I like the article.
Oh, no, cancel. There we go. Sorry, I almost stopped the recording there. Okay, next one. This is a bit of an old story. I think people might have heard of it, but it was just so, like, ridiculous to me that I figured we needed to talk about it. Brazil gang leader who tried to escape dressed as his daughter dies.
I don't think I heard that.
All right. So a Brazilian gang leader who tried to escape prison dressed as his daughter has been found dead in his cell. So I don't care so much that he died. I more care about this. Oh, so it's just saying that about how he died. I want the story about how he got fucking tried to run away.
Well, if you know the story, just tell us.
Okay, so a Brazilian gang leader tried to escape from prison by dressing up as his daughter when she visited him behind bars and walking out the penitentiary's main door in her place. But prison officials said the nervousness displayed by Clavino da Silva, also known as Shorty, we'll call him Shorty, as he tried to leave prison in the western part of Rio de Janeiro, dressed as a woman, gave him away. His plan was apparently to leave his 19-year-old daughter. His plan was apparently to leave his 19-year-old daughter inside the jail. Police are looking into her possible role as an accomplice in Saturday's failed escape attempt. Rio State Secretary of Prison Administration released photos showing Da Silva in a silicone girl's mask and long dark wig, wearing tight jeans and a pink shirt with a cartoon image of donuts. They also released a video in which Shorty can be seen removing the mask and some clothes, saying his full name. Shorty was part of the leadership of the Red Command, one of the most powerful criminal groups in Brazil that controlled drug trafficking in a large part of Rio. After the failed escape bid, Shorty was transferred to a unit of maximum security prison and will face disciplinary sanctions. Anyway, he's dead. They found him dead in his cell now. But I just thought it was amazing how this guy, once again, for all these stories, if you're listening to this podcast, I'll put the links up on in the description. And so if you want to go and read the stories or see some of the images, you can. But here's a look for your sake, Katie, of the individual.
Oh, but he's kind of passing as a girl there.
It's not bad.
Like, it's not horrible.
It is not horrible. I don't think he can talk in that thing. Like, I think talking would give you away because it's just a silicone mask.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that he was wearing the mask. But still, that's a good mask.
Yeah. So,
and he's even wearing flip-flops. Like, he's a confident escapee.
But he failed.
I don't know why I said it like that. Well, he failed, but I mean, he got out.
He got out in the sense that he's now dead. But
what kind of arrangement? Like, it's that daughter. Like, how low does your self-esteem have to be when you're going to trade places with your dad in jail?
Well, if they're like a gang leader, right? You have to assume that I don't know how gangs in Brazil work, but if she's part of the family, you see those mob things where you'll lay down for the family, or you'll take the time, or if she's just innocent, she didn't know her dad was going to screw her over, or she plays dumb that, I didn't know this was going to happen.
Right. Then she doesn't have to stay.
Yeah. Who knows? But I just think that's great. Anytime someone tries to escape prison, I get a little excited. Like, I don't want criminals out, or anything like that, but I was a big fan of Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't hear about it as much as you used to, but whenever there's like a clever one, like the whole El Chapo thing where he had like the tunnel underneath his toilet that can get out, I always find it fascinating. So anyway, that's why I included that story. Next time I'll have the proper link.
Okay.
And
no, that was a good story.
It could work out a bit better. All right, so this one's kind of like, it's not in line with the robots, but it's along similar lines. Crashed spacecraft may have left tiny but tough creatures on the moon.
Okay.
There's now life on the moon. And we fucking put it there.
Okay.
You've heard of men on the moon, but what about moss piglets? Thousands of tardigrades, I guess they're calling tardigrades moth piglets for some reason. Okay. Also known as water bears or moss piglets, were on board the Beresheet spacecraft when it crash landed on the moon in April. These tiny creatures are incredibly hardy and can survive extremely low temperatures and harsh conditions. The Arch Mission Foundation, which sent them into space, believes some may have survived. Tardigrades are pudgy, like animals they're like 1 millimeter in length.
Okay.
They live in water or in the film of water on plants like lichen or moss. They can be found all over the world and in some of the most extreme environments, from icy mountains, polar regions to balmy equator and the deepest depths of the sea. In an attempt to create a Noah's Ark or a backup for Earth, the nonprofit organization, that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no movie, there's no anything where they're like, we're building an ark, and it never ends well.
Right.
It's just the moment anyone starts talking about an ark or a backup for Earth, you're like, this is not going to end well. Anyway, the Ark Mission nonprofit organization sent a lunar library, a stack of DVD-sized discs that acts as an archive of 30 million pages of information about the planets to the moon. Along with the library, Arch, I don't know why I'm having trouble saying Arch. Arch Mission sent human DNA samples and a payload of tardigrades, which had been dehydrated into space. So tardigrades, that's how they survive. They'll dehydrate themselves, and then they can survive in vacuum.
Oh, okay. So like those sea monkey pets you get.
No, they're not at all like sea monkey pets. These are tardigrades.
Oh.
They're like little water bears.
Mm-hmm. They are.
So anyway, we chose them because they are special. They're the toughest form of life we know. They can survive practically in any planetary cataclysm. They can survive in the vacuum of space, as I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. They can survive radiation. Tardigrades have 8 legs with claws at the end, and a brain and central nervous system, and a sucker-like pharynx behind their mouth, which can pierce food. Oh. The Arch Mission put the creatures into a state of suspended animation where the body dries out and the metabolism slows to as little as 0.01% of its normal rate. Jesus. In that state, you can later rehydrate them in a laboratory and they'll wake up and be alive and well again. Although the animals won't be able to reproduce or move around in their dehydrated states, if they have survived the crash, if rehydrated, they can come back to life years later. We don't often get a chance to land life on the moon, and we decided to seize the day and send along some for the ride, said Spivak. I need to get articles where the people and scientists have names I can see. This is one of my biggest problems with doing stand-up when I have to MC and I get anxiety about it. Not so much it's when there's the open mic nights and you got 6 or 7 people, a lot of people you've never seen before, and you got to figure out how the fuck am I going to say this name. This is going to be the biggest problem for doing these in the news things, is when I have to try and quote someone's fucking name.
Right.
It's going to be very difficult. So I apologize to the listeners and anyone whose name I may fuck up, or just try not to say at all. So I apologize, but I have limitations. We'll work on them. We'll get there together. So anyway, researchers hope that along with tardigrades, the majority of the information from the lunar library has survived the impact of the crash and could be used to regenerate human life in millions of years.
So their plan was to send a library up and these bear-like creature things, but super tiny.
Yeah. So best case scenario is that the little library is fully intact, sitting on a nice sandy hillside on the moon for 1 billion years. In the distant future, it might be recovered by our descendants or by a future form of intelligent life that it might have evolved long after we're gone, said that person whose name I can't pronounce. Mm-hmm. From DNA and the cells that we included, you could clone us and regenerate the human race and other planets and animals, he added. That sounds
like we shouldn't be doing that.
Well, I'm not entirely against the idea, though their optimism, the craft crashed, right? Mm-hmm. So their optimism that it's all that stuff still exists and is just sitting on a nice little sandy hill is kind of misplaced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you would want, they have in the Arctic, they have that ark for all the seeds. Every plant on the planet seed is stored in this place in the Arctic. So if a cataclysm we could plant everything.
Right.
That makes sense to me. Putting these creatures out there, I guess, but I picture so my brain goes to the science fiction thing, and you have so what if aliens come along and they find it and they're like, oh shit, and then they clone humans, but they're like they're humans, and then they implant them here on this planet, and then we have these sleeper cells, and it's like Secret Invasion from like Marvel, but with cloned humans and not Skrulls. It's frightening, Katie.
That's quite the place you go with all of that.
Yeah, it is quite the play. The other thing too that I find why I like this, if anyone has watched Star Trek Discovery, it's like the newer Star Trek show. One of the things they use to travel through space and time or whatever is these large blue tardigrades that are floating in space. So what if like something to do with the vacuum of space and the radiation of the sun and the sands of the moon turn these things into these fucking blue floating tardigrades that if you can capture somehow will send you through time and space. Maybe this is how it fucking starts.
Maybe.
And we're just foreshadowing with the Star Trek shit.
You mean Star Trek foreshadowed for us?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay. I think
that's what I meant. But
okay. I think I'm ready for the next article. I don't know if I have much to say about that article.
All right. Well, as a cat owner, I found this one kind of interesting.
Okay.
Cats understand their names and are probably just choosing to ignore you, a new study suggests. Again, it begs me to wonder why this study, just seems like these human hours can be spent in something else than wondering what your cat thinks, but...
I mean, anything else, really. Just anything else.
Have you ever wondered whether your cat is ignoring you because it doesn't understand its name? But here's the thing. As a cat owner, I have wondered. I'm like, do you understand?
As a cat owner, it's not something you identify yourself with. It's not like, as a cat owner.
Yeah, I'm not a dog owner. I couldn't identify with being a dog owner.
Well, you might be able to identify with being a dog owner while owning cats. Because what about if your cats identify as dogs?
Yes. Well, one kind of does sometimes, but that's irrelevant. Anyway, let's move on. I wondered this, and apparently several researchers in Japan also wondered. So they tried to get to the bottom of it. Okay? Of
course they
did. They have bad news.
They are ignoring us?
Yeah, according to a study published in Scientific Reports, the researchers found that cats are able to distinguish their names from other random sounds, which clearly means that, yes, your cat is just choosing to not respond to your calls to come and hang out. The researchers say that they attempted several experiments to see how cats would react to their names, conducted in the cat's home and with their owner out of view. The researchers chose nouns with roughly the same accent and length as the cat's name and had both the cat's owner and stranger record them. They played the audio to the cats with 15-second intervals between each sound. The cat's name came last. Regardless of who was speaking, most of the cats reacted in some way, moving their heads or perking up their ears when their names were spoken. Quote, from the results of all the experiments, it thus appears that at least cats living in ordinary households can distinguish their own names from general words and names of other cats, the researcher wrote. See, I like this article because they just call him the researcher. This is the first experimental evidence showing cats' ability to understand human verbal utterances. The researchers attempted to experiment with cats who lived in a cat cafe, but they found that the cats could not distinguish their names from those of the other cats in the cafe. However, they could distinguish their names from the other nouns. Though the researchers concluded that the cats are able to discriminate their own names from other words, the study was unable to conclude whether the cats were able to distinguish the name as being an identifier for them or just a word that may have a special meaning.
Okay. I see.
So I'm like, hey, Wolverine. He goes, meow. That's my meow.
That's your
I don't know what he's saying when he meows. I just put words in his mouth. But I'm assuming we're both just going, meow.
Right. Yeah. But, well, cats just have boundaries then. No.
Do you think your rabbit knows his name?
No.
Not at all?
I don't think so. He knows, the sound of his food, though. He knows that.
Well, yeah, that's a survival instinct, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not starving. So,
No, but it's the same reason why cats need, right? Whether they need their mother's breast milk. or
Right.
breast, right, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, along the same animal lines. Bear bites dog. Owner punches bear in northern BC. I like these. I like it when man stands up to bear.
Bear bites dog.
So bear bites dog. Owner punches bear.
Okay, so he's defending the honor of his dog
Yeah,
against the bear.
that's like he must love his dog.
Yep.
Like I love my cats. I don't think I'd punch a bear for them. A pair of tourists visiting northern British Columbia had a terrifying close encounter with a black bear recently. Nicole Caithness, a conservation officer with BC Conservation Officer Service. That's too many officers in one sentence, guys. I'm sorry. Says the couple stepped out at a common tourist pullout on the South Klondike Highway, just south of the Yukon boundary, on July 29th. This is an older story, but still, I think it's cool. She says they took their dogs for a walk on leash and happened upon a lone black bear as it came out of a ditch. The bear attacked one of the dogs, and then the man jumped on the bear and began punching it. But Nicole says the bear remained focused on the dog until both the bear and man rolled into the ditch. Jesus Christ. The bear bit the man, who managed to escape and get help at the Carcross Health Station in the Yukon. In a conference call with reporters on Thursday, Nicole says Yukon conservation officers later attended the area and destroyed the bear when it came at them in an aggressive manner. So I think one of the main reasons why this is, good on this dude for standing up for his dog and punching a bear in the face. Like, I got to take my hat off to anyone, balls enough to punch a bear in the face. However, why I took this article down is the way they described how they took care of the bear.
Yeah.
They didn't kill the bear.
No.
They destroyed the bear.
Well, bear's the bully in this story, right?
Yeah, but that just like
they also use the word terrifying.
Yeah, but
I mean, what encounter with a bear? Like, you don't really need terrifying.
Yeah. Okay. So, but here's my question about it: is like, so in British Columbia, they're passing laws for you can't hunt bears, but you should be able to hunt bears because you need to keep the numbers in check.
Yeah.
If I'm not an expert, I'm not a hunter, but if you guys really care, you can go listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. Any number of them, he talks about the fucking bear thing in British Columbia a whole bunch. But basically what happens is there's more people that live in Vancouver, like in the city, than you have all the people in the rural areas. And bills come up to be voted on, and the people vote, oh, save the bears, because of Yogi Bear and all these, Coca-Cola and all this stuff. But then the people who live in the rural communities are like, no, the bears, there's too many bears. We need to keep the bear number in check. They're killing people. They're harming stuff. And so there's this really like interesting tension right now in British Columbia between, people in the rural and the cities and the bears, right? So when I read this, I was like, shit, they said destroyed the bear because it makes that situation seem, it's like the bear's not a thing. They destroy, you don't destroy a living creature, right?
Yeah.
You destroy an object, you destroy a thing. So if they said they killed the bear, then you'd have all those crazy hippies be like, you killed the bear, you killed Yogi. So they used the word destroyed, which I thought was fascinating.
It brings like justice, right?
Yeah, but I think despite the word being destroyed, it's a euphemism. It disguises that you killed the bear, right? So it doesn't sound like you committed a heinous act.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The bear was aggressive. They destroyed the bear. Now you're not thinking that a bear was murdered, essentially.
Yeah.
So along the same vein, and why I took this one because I found another article about an animal attack, and it was the language was different. So in Victoria, a pair of tourists visiting. No, sorry, this is the same one that I just did. Hang on, there's a wolf one here.
In the same place? No.
No. Okay. Camper injured in a very rare wolf attack in Banff National Park. A camper is recovering after being attacked by a wolf in Banff National Park. Parks Canada says the wolf attacked a tent early Friday morning at Ramparts Creek Campground on the Icefields Parkway of North Lake Louise. The person inside the tent had injuries to their hand, arm, and was transferred to a hospital in Banff. Parks Canada says it found the wolf about 1 kilometer away from the campground and killed the animal. Investigators say no significant wildlife attractants or food were found inside or in the immediate vicinity of the tent. Park Canada says it believes the wolf was involved, is calling it a very rare attack, and the campground has been closed, while the investigation. They said killed.
Mm-hmm.
They killed that wolf.
Yeah.
But you can hunt wolves. It's like, and it's in Alberta. You can hunt wolves in Alberta. It's legal.
Right.
So they kill, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a weird thing with language there. I don't know. It's an interesting story, and there's a weird thing with language. I just find it funny. It's like, it's weird. It's like you're going to soften it to make it seem okay, but the word you choose was destroyed, which is like, it's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, and they also called this one like a rare attack, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they use softer words.
Mm-hmm. But they still said we killed the wolf. They didn't hide the fact that the wolf needed to go.
Right. Right.
Like they are predators.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, Darwin agrees. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my lady cat just agreed with me. Okay, let's change pace a little bit here. Okay. So I know you're not like a huge sports fan, but I'm not a big football guy by any means. But I recall when the XFL first came out, and like it was like the '90s or late '90s, early 2000s, whatever. And those of you who don't know, it's the WWE created a football league. And it was supposed to be this super extreme football, and it was really aggressive, and it lasted like I think 1 season or half a season or something like that. And then now they're coming back. They're coming back in 2020. The XFL is coming back, but like Vince McMahon, the head of the WWE, is not involved. Like they're trying to keep a distance. It's about good football, So anyway, there's like I think 6 or 7 teams here, 8 teams in the league to start. So they're already doing better than the CFL. So that's kind of depressing.
Okay.
CFL has 7 teams, 6 or 7 teams, 7 teams. We're going to have 8 when we get Halifax. So maybe if we can merge the XFL and the CFL, we'll have like a new league. We'll have 16 teams, and it'll be somewhat, interesting. Anyway, they announced all their team names. Mm-hmm. And I always find team names fascinating. I do a bit about it. And it's interesting choices. And I thought it'd be fun to maybe go over some of the team names. But not only did they list team names, they have fun little like quotes or sayings, or I don't know how you
like the team's motto. Or...
Yeah. Team mottos for each team, and I find them fascinating. So I'd like to go through them because I think it'd be kind of entertaining, if not funny. So in 2020, when the XFL launches, you can expect to see these following teams: the Dallas Renegades. Deep in the heart of Texas beats a different kind of pulse, a swagger that can't be denied. This is hell on wheels between hash marks, raising hell February 2020. The Dallas Renegades. Okay. It's intense, right? It's fucking... It's a weird name to name it. I guess, I don't know, I'm a hockey fan, so naming like a hockey team the Renegades, like an NHL team, like that would just never happen, you know? Yeah. But then, DC doesn't want to be undone, so you have the DC Defenders. One quest, one purpose, one resolve. Seeking glory through grit, victory through valor, taking their stand February 2020. This is war. They're getting ready for war, Katie. So now I'm kind of getting, now that I'm seeing it in that line, I'm like, okay, they're going to be warring on the field. It's the XFL. It's extreme. I like that. You have fucking Houston Roughnecks. I don't know what a roughneck is. I think they wanted to call them the Houston Rednecks, but I don't think you can.
Yeah, roughneck. I don't know. That makes me think of the part of like on the back of a cat or a rabbit. You grab them by that.
The roughneck. Yeah. All right. Mercenaries in the muck. Brawlers in the blackened dirt. The scratching, grinding, never bending few. Going to work for you. February 2020. The Houston Roughnecks. Okay. All right. And then we have the Los Angeles Wildcats. Mm-hmm. This is prime time meets primal instinct. This is showtime with a snarl. This is our time to roar. Unleashed February 2020. The Los Angeles Wildcats. Okay. I could be a Wildcats fan, perhaps. No?
No. Well, maybe.
Wildcats. They're crazy. They're all right. I think the Wildcats is like a university's
Probably.
in the U.S. because you remember the movie Speed?
Yes.
Sandra Bullock's driving, and then the villain, he's like, "Tell that Wildcat behind the wheel," and then that's when Keanu Reeves noticed she's wearing a Wildcat sweater and notices that the camera's in the bus, and it was like a pivotal plot point. That's when I hear Wildcats. That's what I fucking think. Anyway, number 5, the New York Guardians, watchdogs over the metropolis. They're the first line of defense, and there is no need for a second. That's it. There's no need for other words either. That's all they have to say about that. All right, New York. I thought New York would have a little bit more flash, a little more pizzazz than just, no, we're here to defend. I was about to make a really bad joke. Or the Guardians. They're Guardians. They're not defenders. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Dallas is the defenders. New York is the Guardians. I was going to say New York defenders. I'm sure that helped the fucking Towers, but whatever.
Oh, jeez.
It's just a joke, guys. And gals and whatever. Number 6, the Seattle Dragons. Now, here's one that so Seattle's getting an NHL team in 2021. And so there's a lot, but they haven't announced their team name yet. And this is one that I kind of wanted, the Seattle Emerald Dragons or something like that. I thought that would be cool. The Seattle Green Dragons or something, Though a lot of people in the hockey world are like, oh, you don't put mythical creatures for the names of professional hockey teams. They just don't do it. It's more of an AHL thing or an EHL thing for whatever reason. But if you look across the NHL, with the exception of maybe the Wild, everything is like real,
right?
So Seattle Dragons, when I saw this, I was a little surprised. Kind of goes a little against the other vibes of the other things as well. It's a creature. But I like it. I still like it. I like dragons. Anyway, relentless, ruthless, ravenous, not of mythology, but of muscle and might. See, but they are of mythology.
Yes, they are.
You're dumb.
Yep.
Anyway, they get hit in the head a lot. They play football. Okay. So I can forgive some of these things. Okay. You got the St. Louis Battlehawks, which you have Seahawks, or a professional sports team. You have Blackhawks, which are a professional sports team. I don't think you need the Battlehawks.
No.
Winged warriors preparing for flight. Preparing to fight. Their mission, create chaos. Their mandate, win at all costs. Cleared to engage February 2020.
Chaos. You need to control that shit.
You don't want chaos on the field.
No.
It's chaos on the field. What's happening? Exactly. They're punching the referee in the face. They're kicking each other in the dicks. It's chaos. That's not football.
No.
Maybe it's the XFL. I don't know.
It sounds very, maybe it's the way you're reading them too, but it sounds very WrestleMania.
It's a
right?
I think that's the point, right? Right. They're trying to appeal to that WWE audience, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's the same company. So I guess it makes sense. Anyway, so the last one, and we'll move on. I apologize for non-sports fans that are listening to this. Like, oh, God, I don't fucking care. I really don't care either. I just think the names are entertaining. The Tampa Bay Vipers. Hunters by instinct. Cold-blooded by nature. Luring all who challenge them into the jaws of defeat. Ready to strike. February 2020. So they're being challenged into the jaws of defeat, or they're challenging others, and then the others get into their jaws and are defeated. I don't know what exactly this means. But again, head injuries. I don't know. Though I'm vaguely intrigued.
Yeah, maybe it's for the kid appeal too.
Yeah, well, so here they're saying the new XFL is less based on gimmicks and more focused on fast, simple product that can become a developmental league, providing ground for NFL hopefuls. Oh my God, I can't breathe right now. Anyway, so it's I don't think they're trying to compete with the NFL. They're trying to create something that is between college and the NFL. So you can it
sounds very
I guess the ECHL or ECHL in hockey, or the AHL.
Yeah. It's like the monster truck version of the NFL.
The monster truck version of the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure there's a lot of women listening to that, listening to this, and like, yeah, I know exactly what she means. It's the monster truck version of the NFL.
It's just like big and in your face and loud
like
and
compared to
gritty.
other monster trucks.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like compared to regular trucks.
Yes.
So like the NFL is a regular truck.
Yeah.
And the XFL is a monster truck.
Right.
Now I understand what you're saying.
High five.
I don't mean to
Who
sound.
says women are from Mars and men are from Venus? Whatever the hell that book
I don't know.
talks about.
But I want to ask this question. I was going to ask, if men are from Mars and women are from Venus, where are the other ones from? So people nowadays are really big into yoga and fitness and all this. And, us humans, we're silly fucking creatures, right? Because just doing yoga is not enough. It's not enough. So woman doing extreme yoga falls 8 stories, breaks 110 bones.
What? Like, was she doing it on her balcony?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't make it better, but it makes sense now.
Alexa, 23, was pictured hanging upside down on a balcony in Mexico Monday. Moments later, she survived a 25-meter fall that resulted in 110 broken bones.
She was not doing yoga. That woman was drunk, and whoever asked her what happened, she's like, I was doing yoga.
Is that how Mexicans sound?
Oh, no. No, that's how like but is she Mexican? No, was in Mexico. She's not. We don't know if she's Mexican, do we?
I don't know. I haven't finished the article.
Oh, maybe it's like some white drunken spring break girl.
The college student, originally from Chihuahua,
yeah, I don't know,
was supposedly practicing extreme yoga. A tweet by social media user Javier Rayado reads, speaking to Global News, Rayado says he received the photo from a friend he has in common with Terrazas, but would not provide a name. The fall occurred in the area of Las Privanas in San Pedro Garcia. What the hell are all these words? That's way too many words for a place. One word, that's the place. Okay? San Pedro. It's in San Pedro. Jesus Christ. According to New York Post, the woman was treated by paramedics with the Red Cross before being brought to the hospital. She reportedly needs full reconstruction of her ankles, knees, and face. Jesus Christ. I bet she was. I bet she wish she wasn't that flexible now, eh? She's like, man, I'm so flexible, and she falls and like just bends over. And me, I wouldn't. I would have broke my fucking knees and ankles. My face would have been fine because I'm not that flexible. And she likely won't walk for another 3 years. Holy shit.
3 years.
Let's talk about fucking. She's gonna need just regular yoga afterwards. Anyway,
that's her there.
That's her.
Yeah, see, she was drunk on spring break and was like, "Look, guys, I'm gonna do extreme yoga," and then fucking, yeah.
Yeah, she's a student of nutrition.
Yeah,
she's
yoga.
known to be a thrill seeker per her Instagram account, featuring many images of skydiving, bungee jumping, and other adrenaline-fueled activities. She has more than 4,000 followers.
More than me.
Well, it'll help push that wheelchair. So
yeah,
that's a horrible thing to say. I'm just joking. I feel bad for you, but you shouldn't have hung upside down on a fucking balcony.
Like not at 108 stories.
Okay. According to Extreme Yoga, challenging poses for cutting-edge practice by Jesse Chapman, the practice asks participants to perform over-the-top postures that add a challenge and excitement to the yoga practice of anyone who can handle them. The cover shows a woman doing extreme back bend with her feet over her head in a traditional pose taken to the next level.
Great. That's what you want to see walking in.
So basically, she was like, she was hanging upside down over the railing of her balcony and fell.
Yes.
I'll stick with goat yoga.
Yeah, the worst is like you'll get pooped on.
Or they'll like nip at you or something.
But you won't die. Probably.
You probably won't die.
No. You definitely won't fall 108 stories.
Okay, so I got two more articles here.
Okay.
This one is I don't know. You're a lady, so
Sure am.
outrage. That was a weird way to introduce this, eh?
What, you're a lady?
Yeah, but okay. I may also say you're not an obese lady because the way I just said that might make people think, oh, maybe she's an obese lady. Anyway, overage over diet bar freebies. This was another story. It was like in the news. I think people might have heard about this story, but if you didn't, I kind of just wanted your take on the story. Okay. Outrage over diet bar freebies with plus size clothing orders. Forever 21 apologizes. So Forever 21 is taking heat after it angered customers with an arguably tone-deaf free giveaway campaign. Online customers from across the U.S. took to Twitter to say they felt body-shamed when their orders of plus-size swimsuits and clothing arrived in the mail with free snack bars from the famous diet brand Atkins. It's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. Several customers shared angry posts and photos of their open packages with Atkins lemon bars inside. One angry Twitter user who described herself as size 18 wrote, what are you trying to tell me, Forever 21? I'm fat, lose weight? Another person who ordered a plus-size swimsuit tweeted that Forever 21's gestures showed how the company were jerks, adding, an Atkins diet bar in my order was not cool. But the free Atkins bars seem to have been sent to customers who ordered clothing in a range of sizes. Thank you. That was my question. I just bought a bunch of extra small and small clothes and got one too. I don't think there's anything personal. Other people online echoed customers' outrage, including a magazine editor who wrote that Forever 21's gesture was inappropriate and sent a widely dangerous message, to all of its customers. Sorry, what's the dangerous message? Eat healthy?
Support Atkins?
Advertisements for the lemon bar, which is part of Atkins' snack collection, is described as a way to stick with your low-carb diet. The two main slogans on Atkins' website read, lose weight, live low carb. The Atkins diet and its weight loss peaked popularity in 2003. Forever 21 says the move was an oversight. I don't know. I don't see this. So they go, this is what Forever 21 says. This was an oversight on our part, and we sincerely apologize for any offense this may have caused to our customers, as this was not our intention in any way. The company explained that from time to time, Forever 21 surprises our customers with free test products from third parties in their e-commerce orders. They stressed it wasn't to body shame or send a message to people ordering plus-size clothing, as a free Atkins bar were included in all online orders across all sizes and categories for a limited time. The clothing giant said the bars have been removed, but it's unclear if this was because of the backlash or because the campaign is done. So, I'd like your take. Being a woman, if you're a woman, you order clothes online.
Yep.
And you got a diet bar with your clothes.
Well, okay. So first of all, they're calling them diet bars, and I understand that they do support the Atkins diet, but I don't think on the actual bar it says diet bar. I think it just because in that article you said they got an Atkins bar that is part of the Atkins diet. I don't think the actual bar said diet on it.
Advertisements for the lemon bar, which is part of the Atkins snack collection, is described as a way to stick to your low carb diet. Low carb diet.
Oh, low carb diet on the bar.
Yeah, but then Atkinson's website reads "lose weight and live low carb," but like that's the website.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it matters. Like if I got an Atkins bar in an order. Now, maybe that's because I'm not obese. Maybe. I don't know. But I would just look at it as a freebie. Like, I don't, like, it's not like Forever 21. So I've been to Forever 21, and yeah, they have sizes for everyone, and that's great. It's not like at Forever 21, they're selling the Atkins bar, or they're, like, having a display of the Atkins product in the plus-size clothing. Like, it was something that everyone got. It would be the same thing that if they sold Atkins, let's say, and had it in every section, like you can't, at that point, you're just personalizing it. You're putting too much trust into like a company that they have some personal agenda against you.
Do you think we would have, like, there would be the same outrage if they got Mars bars?
No, definitely not.
So sending them something that is knowingly and inherently not good for them would be fine. But sending something that is healthy to people sends the wrong message.
Right.
To me, that's fucked up.
Yes. Yes, and I think too, like, just because it's an Atkins bar doesn't mean it's better for you or it's healthier. I mean, those things
healthier than a Mars bar.
Well, yeah, healthier than a Mars bar, but those things are still loaded with sugar and other things you shouldn't have, right? So I think I don't know exactly where my point was going, but either way, it's just something free with your order.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we need to like read so much into everything. Now, if you ordered plus size clothing and you got like a pamphlet for a lap band surgery or something like that, then yeah, maybe get fucking outraged. But
yeah,
I don't know.
And to think that like
a handful of diet pills like that.
But for someone who's even obese and order something, and to think that the company, like at that point, it's your own self-esteem. Like that company has no idea if you ordered those clothes for yourself, for your mother, for your sister, for as a present. Yeah. And so they're just, the fact that let's say you did order those clothes for yourself, the fact that you're being offended by that diet bar probably means that you're not happy with yourself. Like,
my next question, how many people do you actually think were offended? Like, I mean, I know that there's an article about this now. So enough people were offended that there's an article. They show literally 3 tweets.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was more.
Mm-hmm.
But out of every obese woman who ordered something,
yeah,
you've known obese people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think most of them would get pissed off getting a diet bar in their thing?
No.
Or do you think, like, not to sound insensitive, but do you think they'd just say, "Oh, great," and eat it?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think it goes again to the people that, like, I know, like the people that I know that are obese, are quite content with themselves and don't always go down this negative trail on themselves, right? So I think these are people that are just prone to being negative.
A little insecure, perhaps.
Yeah, a little insecure.
Which, like, to some extent they should be. Get healthy. I don't want to be insensitive, but like if they're taking this big of offense,
yes, they
know something's wrong.
Yes.
People who are comfortable with themselves aren't going to take offense.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I used to be heavier, like I heavy enough that, I got to a point where I didn't like it and I made a change about it. And, maybe I would have been offended if I would have got the Atkins bar ordering plus size clothing, but I don't think that offense would have been on me. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have got upset at the company. One, I mean, right away you should know it's from a third party. Atkins has nothing to do with Forever 21. I mean, the two are irrelevant to each other.
Yeah, we live in weird times.
But then Forever 21 goes and apologizes, and it's just like you're apologizing for something you don't need to be apologizing for. And I think that's
a huge problem because now you're giving credence to their complaint.
Right.
And so the next fucking Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, whoever that sees this fucking whatever offends them, they're gonna be like, "Oh, look, free diet bar offended them. I'm gonna, whatever."
But that's like, I guess because it's. Let's look at I mean, here we're looking at girl products, right? Like women's clothing and getting a diet bar or whatever. But I mean, you order a sex toy from a sex shop, or they often throw in condoms for free, right? So, like, are people going to say, "Oh, they think I'm going to have unprotected, unsafe sex," or like, no, it's just it's a thing you're getting, Like, don't be and that because you could throw in condoms for a male or for a female. That's why I'm using that as an example. I mean, nobody. Really,
what are you calling me, a slut?
Yeah, or like,
let me take my 13-inch dildo and get out of here.
Yeah, like it's just something that.
Yeah, we all eat.
We all eat.
So I look at it as like, I don't know. Anyway, so this is kind of.
So we have to stop sorry, my point was that we need to stop apologizing because we're apologizing for the wrong things. And then it's like when you tell a kid, like, don't just say sorry, like after a while the sorries just don't matter, right? So we keep demanding these sorries, but
yeah, but well, apologize when you're in the wrong.
Yes.
But if you're not in the wrong, or if it was an innocent mistake.
Yeah. Like it was an oversight on our part. No, it wasn't an oversight on your part. Like you probably understood the maybe the ramifications, but
no, I would see it as like something they wouldn't even think about, right? Because they have the deal that things go, they get put in the box and they go.
Right.
There's like snack, so they're probably just like, oh, we're putting snack bars.
Yeah.
The fact that it's Atkins I think is irrelevant or something that they didn't even really cross their mind per se. If I was the business big wigs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a snack bar.
Mm.
So then you get to the point, right, that if 3 people can't have it or are disgusted with it or don't want it, then nobody can have it. And that's I want a fucking Atkins bar when I order from Forever 21. Those things are like $10 for 4. I'd like to try one. What I was saying, like, because now these 3 people didn't like it or however yes, obviously we know there's more, but
yeah.
But why? Then we're catering to the smaller group.
Yeah, well, it goes into the who can scream the loudest, gets the first worm. It used to be the early bird, now it's just who screams the loudest.
But we don't need to scream.
No, we don't. But so
like there are better things to be screaming about besides Atkins bars in your fucking clothing order.
Did you watch the MTV VMAs?
No, I did not.
Neither did I. But
there's an article.
Okay. And Sebastian Maniscalco, I can't say his last name. Again, guys, I'm horrible with last names. But Sebastian Maniscalco. I like this comic very much, and I will learn his last name. I'm going to probably say this story a few times throughout this podcast, but I just want you guys to understand how shitty I am with names or pronouncing names. A couple years ago, I was emceeing a series of shows in Toronto from like Wednesday through Sunday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And the headliner that week, a guy I've known before, and I've known him as Tim Nastiopoulos. And I had that. I know Tim Nastiopoulos. I can fucking do that. And then that week, he's like, I'm recording my CD this week, Chris. I need you to use my full name, my full Greek name, because that's what I'm going to go by now in comedy. It's my full Greek name. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And he pointed to it at the board, and it looked all Greek to me. I had no idea what the fuck. And it took me all week to get it. His name is Efthymios Nastiopoulos. Efthymios Nastiopoulos. I fucked up Efthymios every goddamn show. And he was recording a CD. And so we need to get my intro. And so I like, give it up for and I wrote it down. I tried to write it down phonetically, and I just kept fucking it up to the point where during the day when I was trying to get, my set in order and figure out what I'm going to do that night, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about fucking Efthymios. I'm trying to just say it, and then I get it during the day. I'm like, okay, we got this. And the show came around, and I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your headliner, and then I'd fuck it up. And then it was like in my head to the point, like I think it was the Saturday night late show. No, Saturday night early show. One of the shows on the Saturday anyway. I didn't get a single laugh. Like I was just off my game. I couldn't, because I just needed to get this guy's name. And then in the Saturday Night Late Show, I fucking got it. And then the Sunday Night Late Show, but I got so excited I did it on the Saturday night. I was like, yeah! And I cheered, and then it fucked up his recording. So we did it again on the Sunday, and I nailed it. But it took me like fucking a whole week to get this guy's name. So I apologize when I read these and I butcher names or I choose not to say the name correctly or I skip past it. No, it's because I'm a fucking idiot. And I struggle with that vocabulary. Anyway. Sebastian Maniscalco hosted the MTV VMAs. And I don't know if I want to say this woman's name. The link to the article will be on the website or on in the description, whatever. But I'm just going to read you this article, and then you're going to get your opinions on it. But being a comedian, seeing things like it's like makes me wonder what the fuck I'm doing. Anyway, dear Sebastian Maniscalco, MTV's VMAs were a safe space until you took the stage. I have been an MTV loyalist to the core since video officially killed the radio star, and I love the VMAs. For as many years as I can remember, my very hip mama and I deconstructed the cutting-edge performances, the Moon Man, now Person, victories, and epic fashion over coffee the next morning. You might even call it one of my safe spaces. A place I associate with belonging, inclusivity, being part of the magic, vicariously living a dream. First of all, I grew up on MTV. I would not use any of those words to describe MTV while I was growing up. I would use 2 words to describe MTV growing up: Beavis and Butthead. Fuck you. Anyway, back to the article. For you, I trust last night was epic, fulfilling, and exceeded your dreams. I really enjoyed your last special. I guess she's talking right to Sebastian now. I really enjoyed your last special and looked forward to seeing what you would bring to the VMAs. And I laughed, and then I didn't. I couldn't sleep last night thinking about the show, specifically a series of jokes you made about safe spaces for people feeling triggered, being available backstage where you can get a stress ball and a blankie. See, I think it's funny. Before suggesting that if you had it your way, people would just be sent home if they felt unsafe at your show. Your opening monologue blew my phone up. People from all over texting me footage of your comments, pained messages of how callous and obtuse your words felt, how tone-deaf, mocking, and unnecessarily unkind, and how damaging, giving the amazing platform and reach of the MTV tentpole. We're talking about MTV right now, right? Didn't fucking, like, a handful of years ago, Miley Cyrus go on there and, like, do, like, some licking, posing fuck thing? All right. This was unsettling for many reasons, not least of which is cheapening the platform that is the VMA stage. Cheapening the platform that is the VMA stage. I love comedy. Clearly she doesn't.
No.
She clearly does not love comedy. I love comedy and been a fan of your work for years, but your words last night felt so out of touch, so insensitive to the impact that recent national events have on people. Taylor Swift had just rocked out such an inclusive celebration and deliberately wore an outfit as an expression of safety and disenfranchised people. I kept thinking about the mixed messages. From my side of the TV screen, I saw discomfort in the live audience. And not in the so wrong, it's funny vein. It just felt not okay. This morning, I reached out to you on Instagram. It was a blind DM, and I'm not expecting to hear back. But I really want to have a conversation with you about safe space and what they actually mean to me personally, to women of color, to the LGBTQ plus community, to kids on college campuses, to vets, and to survivors of war and mass shootings. Don't bring fucking vets into this. I don't know about survivors of mass shooting, but survivors of war and vets, leave them the fuck out of this because they're some of the toughest motherfuckers. Safe spaces aren't about being fragile or needing a support horse, but are designed especially in cultural spaces so that events and places that are supposed to be about celebration, freedom, and fun for all people can be. Sebastian, I want to challenge you to be an ally, to help people, to help me help people. I want to talk to you because I'm a fan. We're all in this together, and all of us have a critical role to play in our collective safety and well-being. We need to have courageous conversations about safe spaces, and the VMAs gave us this golden gift of opportunity. I direct a safe space initiative called Soteria, created by women who work within your industry that is strategically designed for large cultural events, festivals, and concerts to prevent sexual harassment, misconduct, and assault. We offered skilled, compassionate care and respite to anyone experiencing distress, including PTSD, crowd anxiety, dangerous or threatening behaviors, and or consumption. Let me just pause right here. I have crowd anxiety. I deal with anxiety out in public with people. I would never look for a fucking safe space. Like, oh my God, there's too many people. I need. You know what I do, Katie? You know. Well, you've been with me when it happens. You know what I do, right? I fucking leave. I leave and I'm fine, and we have a great rest of the evening.
Next time, can we look for a safe space so you can get a blankie and a stress ball?
Jesus Christ. We help folks when they're most vulnerable in public. We develop protocols and training to help decrease incidences of violence. We want people to be able to really have fun and feel safe knowing that we're all there when they need us. Survivors of shootings get triggered. Vets get triggered. Kids get triggered. Assault survivors get triggered in spaces where substance use is high and inhibitions are lowered. Flashbacks and overdoses happen. Queer folks, people of color, She spelled folks weird. She spelled folks with an X. Folx.
Oh.
That's not how you spell folks, lady. Unless you're talking about queer folks, like that's a new thing. That's another anyway. Like they took the plus and they just turned it into an X. Anyway. People of color, people of disabilities, and women in general are all at higher risks than you can ever possibly know. People of all genders, sizes, colors, nationalities, religions, and political values have come to us for help. I guarantee you a Republican has never gone to them for help. A white nationalist has never gone to them for help. I've spent a lifetime so far doing not that like I'm not condoning white nationalism by saying that. I'm just saying she's basically saying everybody. I spent a lifetime so far doing the research. A
lifetime? I've
spent a lifetime so far doing the research for you, and I promise safe spaces are necessary. She's been doing a lifetime of research. A lifetime, Katie. I've never heard of safe spaces.
Yeah, like a lifetime of research based on the past
10 years? 10 years, max. Let's be courteous.
8.
8.
I'll give it 8.
She gets 8. Oh my God! Now it's gonna get dark.
Like I gotta tell you.
No. See, so I've been making fun of her. I didn't read this whole article clearly, but now it's gonna get dark because now she's gonna give us her
story.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a survivor of a kidnapping at 17 from a music festival that nearly ended my life. I needed a safe space when there wasn't one. I spent a career working with police chiefs across the country to help prevent youth homicide. Homicide. I don't want to say homicide. These kids need a safe space. I recently attended and oversaw a space at a festival with hundreds of Route 91 survivors. Those fans needed a safe space. Your words are unnecessary considering what a success your time on stage has been up till this point. I guess his success is done now. And deeply painful for those of us who have worked to help people feel safe and included. Your words shamed people who may need care. Your words also have tremendous power in that you are visible and have incredible reach. But we need you as an ally, not a mocker. You could help us save people. He's a comedian. He's a fucking comedian.
How long is this letter?
It's almost done.
Okay.
Come, have a conversation about what we can do to make the world safer, more inclusive, and fun for everyone. This is the 3rd time she said those exact words. We need you on the team. We need you on the team. We will have a stress ball and blankie ready. You are safe with us, and we're all in this together. Can't wait to laugh again. Can't wait to laugh again. Hang on, though. That was a funny joke. She had a funny joke in here. I appreciated her ending, and I can look at that going, hey, that's funny. Now, if I was writing this about her and then said, I'll give you a stress ball and a blankie, I guarantee you that's fucking triggering.
Yes. Yeah.
He's also a comedian.
Yes.
Who is paid to tell jokes at the Much Music Video Awards. Where, like, I don't know. Cribs was on MTV. Yeah. Fucking, you had all those spring break things. Yes. Pauly Shore back in the day. You had Ben Affleck grabbed a tit on MTV. Like, there's all these. It's not cool. It's not like, I mean, it was cool. I enjoyed MTV growing up, but it's not what they're. Maybe it is now. I don't know. I don't watch MTV anymore. But like,
yeah, I haven't watched MTV either.
Since like, but like again, the Miley Cyrus thing, and it's really funny that they're like, she's holding Sebastian up to this. Has she not watched his specials? Right. She claims she did, and she's a fan of his. But he makes fun of this shit in his specials. Yeah. From making fun of people with flip flops and the social anxiety people have in their homes, like. That's his shtick. I am not. When I heard that he made fun of safe spaces and trigger words at the VMAs, I was not surprised. I was like, yeah, of course he did. Right. I would. Like, that would be my angle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think safe spaces are fake fabrications that people make to make themselves feel better.
But now, I agree to the most extent. But I also would like someone who is being assaulted or just escaped a potential rape or something to be able to run up to someone and ask for help and feel safe in doing so.
Right. But I think that we just need to like be humans about that kind of stuff again.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need safe spaces. We're all supposed to be in this together.
We're supposed to be a community.
Each other's safe spaces, right? Like Like if I'm being attacked at a concert, I should be able to start screaming and someone should be able to look over at me and be like, holy shit, that person needs help. Not like, oh, fuck, I need to find a safe space and get my body over there and then get help. And like, we have safe spaces already. I mean, you go to any concert in Ottawa, I mean, we are, and like the Red Cross is there and there's security walking around, and we don't need to create more safe spaces. We've already put these protocols in place.
We shouldn't be worried about creating safe spaces, just safer communities.
Right. Like
communities where we look out for each other. Like like thinking about this and thinking about what you just said about safe spaces reminds me of a time I was getting jumped. I was like early high school. I think it was in grade 9, and these bunch of guys came out, and we were hanging out at the park, and they were much bigger and more intimidating than us, and they started to chase us, and me and my friends scattered, and I had 3 guys running after me, and I ran as fast as I fucking could. I scaled a fence with barbed wire on the top and got over the barbed wire because of the adrenaline, right? Like it's just like I did things that night that I never thought I would be able to do, and I never looked back. Like I just kept going. And then when I got over the other barbed wire fence and got to the other side, I was in this like little project type community, and I was coming around. I heard a bunch of younger guys that kind of sounded like the guys that were chasing me. And so I, in my fear, like I can't go forward again because I think they're now in front of me.
right.
I can't go back because I know some of them are still behind me. And so what I did is I ran to one of the houses that was right there, and I knocked on the fucking back door.
Yeah.
I didn't know the people. It ended up being someone I went to like a girl I didn't know.
Yeah.
But a girl who went to my high school, and her dad was like, "Why are you knocking her?" And it was strictly like in like survival.
Yeah.
They had lights on.
Yeah.
I'm knocking on that door.
Yeah.
And you know what? They let me in. I told them what was happening. They comforted me. They let me call my parents. My dad came and picked me up, and it was done. Right? Like the community helped me in that sense.
Yes.
And I think we need to strive more for that. Like if someone is in need, help them. But we should also make sure people are tough to know that words, they're not the be all end all of life.
Well, and I mean, we keep talking about how like we want to be more together as a society, like become closer or whatever. But then we create all these segregated safe spaces. That doesn't make sense. Like, so we're segregating each other into certain safe spaces so we can all enjoy the one thing we want to enjoy together.
So here's what
that's counterproductive.
So here's what I kind of wonder. So yeah, because we're already tribal, right? So we're already used to grouping into our own little spaces. Like that's one of the things that's most toxic about us right now, right?
Yes.
But like, what happens when the conservatives need to say? Because right now it's all fucking far left people that are using that get triggered and use these safe spaces for the most part, right? What happens when these Republicans or these super conservatives or even these white nationalists start needing safe spaces, and then they go in like, no, I'm here for safe space. Then you got to fucking cordon off and quarter like, or do their feelings don't matter?
Right.
Like, as long as they're not preaching hate or the thing that's bothering them isn't fueled in hate, why like they should be able to be helped as well, you know?
Right.
But I guarantee you that wouldn't be the case.
No.
They would not be safe in that safe space.
No, definitely not. That's why I think safe spaces just are fabrications because they can shift and alter.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's like I was kind of getting on this in the first podcast is it's subjective. Everything's subjective, right? So like what offends me probably won't offend you or vice versa.
Right.
And like if I say something, you may take offense. I may not mean offense, and I have no idea of what the fuck. Like I don't know. I didn't realize that this makes offense. But now you're gonna, in today's culture, it's like Dave Chappelle was talking about in his latest special, they're trying to cancel you.
Yeah, like you just go after instead of having the conversation.
Yeah, ask me. Like, sorry, what do you mean by that?
Right.
And then I'll be like, like fucking whatever, and be like, oh my god, shit, fuck,
right.
I thought you were.
Well, and I mean, sure, this lady in her letter, she keeps saying she wants to have a conversation with this person, like keeps inviting the comedian and whatever for a conversation, but clearly she's going in not open-minded. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to ask someone for a conversation, but she's already accused him.
Oh, she doesn't want to have a conversation. She wants to fucking berate this man.
Well, yeah, she wants to, spew her safe space religion on him.
She wants to
with a blankie and a stress ball in his hand.
Yeah, that was a funny
that was
line.
that was a funny line, but that was a cunty thing for her to say.
Absolutely,
that was cunty.
Because that's what she was criticizing him for saying, right? So it's like, you can't do it, but I can.
Yeah,
that's essentially.
But then don't maybe I'm being too harsh, but then don't fucking go out. Like if you can't go somewhere and enjoy something.
She didn't go out. She watched it on television and got tweets by people.
Well, then don't You're in you're okay. So you're watching this from in your house. You're in your fucking safe space. You have the ability to turn this off. You have the ability to turn the volume down if you just want to see the show part of the show. You could you're in. So I'm sorry. I have lost for words for that.
I know.
You're in your safe space. Maybe it's not her safe space. I don't know. Maybe it's, some fort she built in her basement and she couldn't get up from her couch to go down to it.
I personally think it has something to do with her name is Eleuthera Lish.
But people don't.
If your name is Luthera, you need a safe space. I understand. I'm sorry for making fun, lady.
But we're turning people into where people can't we want people to recognize their feelings and identify their feelings. We teach kids this from a young age so that they don't become bullies and hit other kids or whatever. Identify your feelings, before you get to red or whatever. But then we're not even doing that as adults. We're like, oh, I'm feeling something I don't want to feel, so I'm going to get mad at the other person or put it on them or make it their fault. No, if something's triggering you, that's on you, unfortunately. Yes, maybe the experience that happened to you was very unfortunate and should have never happened to anyone, but if you're being triggered, that's on you. You've got to take care of that. You've got to have your tools in your belt to manage that situation and not expect some fucking famous comedian who gets to host the, VMAs.
Anybody. You can't expect anybody.
Exactly. It's going back to the Atkins bar in the shipping package of plus size clothing. Yes, everyone got it, but if you're feeling offense by that, that's on you. That's not on the company.
Yeah,
exactly. It's if you can't go into a store and say, oh, I'm trying on a pair of size 18 pants. I want these to be a size 10, so you should make your sizes all bigger. The world, we can't cater like that anymore.
No. But
this is all about catering to someone.
Oh, it's.
Sorry, I kind of went off on a rant there.
No, it's quite all right. It's catering to those people that scream the loudest.
Yes.
They're just It's I don't want to give away the bit I'm working on, but it's essentially a bunch of children are like, "Wah!"
Yeah, well, exactly.
And then we just give them what they want, and then other people are like, oh shit, they cried and yelled and moaned and they got what they wanted. I'm going to cry, yell, and moan, and I'm going to get what I want.
Yes, exactly. I have a son. That's why when the kid has its first tantrum, you just walk over it and keep on going, because the minute you give in, they're going to get what they want all the time. I mean...
Tantrum, that's a good word.
Tantrum, yes. After I walk, he threw himself
This feels a little bit like a temper tantrum.
Yeah. So just, anyway, hopefully this guy doesn't give her any attention, but I mean...
See, yeah, I don't think he will, but I think he might. I don't know.
He better not fucking apologize.
He fucking better not apologize. I don't think Sebastian is the type of guy to apologize. Though he did do 3 sold out shows in Madison Square Garden. Maybe he's afraid of the ticket sales because, apparently he gets all kinds of people. But
we've all had.
I don't know. Personally, I'm gonna say this. I'm not a successful comedian by any means. I'm not a draw, right? Mm-hmm. I rely on the clubs until hopefully this goes, hey guys, come out and check out one of my shows. I'm doing 12 shows this September. Shameless plug. No, but seriously, if I know people are gonna be offended, I don't want them at my show.
Yeah.
If I know, if I make a joke about abortion, which has been known to happen, I don't want them at my show.
Yeah.
If they're going to be offended because I'm commenting on the difference between men and women, because apparently men and women, there's no difference. We're exactly equal. But if they think that, don't come to my fucking show. You're not going to enjoy what I'm going to say.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it goes back to, we've all had shit happen to us at some point in our life. Something has happened to us where it can be considered a trigger for something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you can't just go around blaming everyone for your triggers.
Yeah, and you also can't compare it to them either. You can't be like, oh, well, I was kidnapped, so this is the worst thing that ever happened to me. And it was like, yeah, okay, well, I was just in a car crash that, broke my arm or whatever, but that was the worst thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
You can't compare. Yes, kidnapping's worse, but for me in my life, this is the worst thing I've ever experienced. Yeah. I don't have a barometer to measure.
Right.
And so you get that comparative fucking suffering thing. You get these victims. We all just need to fucking calm the fuck down.
Agreed.
We need to take a deep breath. We need to, if we don't like, you know what's really funny about like this climate that we live in, and like, so all the articles I've been reading about Dave Chappelle's special, and then I saw this one about Sebastian, and then there's like, you know, every other day you see something about a comic and he's done something wrong. Oh, this comic had fucking dreadlocks. We're not going to let him perform.
Right.
They didn't let a comic perform at a college because he had fucking dreadlocks and he was white, and they called it cultural appropriation. I'm sorry, but that's fucked up. Like there needs to be a line drawn in the sand somewhere, and we need to progress forward. Like we need to just grow up a little bit, you know?
We need to be everyone's safe space.
We just need to stop. Well, yeah. Essentially, we need to make
be fucking humans again.
Just a community and understand, you know, people are different.
Yes.
And if you don't like it, like this is the point I was trying to get at, is that where we live, like in the world we live in today, there's just so much content out there. There's just so much content that if you don't like something, there is something out there you're going to like.
Yeah. Yeah. Focus on that.
Exactly. Go do that.
Yeah.
Leave the thing that other people like to the other people, because clearly people enjoyed the show.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like just find a different outlet.
So that's the word of wisdom today, folks, is like, if you don't like something, just turn it off. Leave. You're feeling anxiety, go home. It's okay. Like, I think that's where the stigma is. We should not create safe. We should make it be okay for people to leave.
Yes, absolutely.
You're like, oh, you're not. Yeah, that's cool, man. I'll see you later. I hope you feel, you know. And in turn, them knowing that that's the reaction they're going to get from the group will probably make it easier to be a part of the group.
Yes, and not everybody gets to be part of everything.
No.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, no, because everything's not for everything. We're not all the same.
Right.
And trying to make everyone the same and fit us all into the same fucking mold is where we're getting the problems that we have today. And like the rise of racism, the rise of, you know, bigotry and indifference and these mass shootings. I know we don't get them as much in Canada, but, you know, gun violence is still on the rise. It's not to any kind of concern. Like in Ottawa, they're concerned because it just doesn't happen, but it's not to a level that's overly concerning because of, if you look around, right? Like all the things that are happening in the world. So it's easy for us to sit here and, you know, on certain things. But when it comes to just being human and being offended in words, like, we need to just fucking chill the fuck out. We need to know that it's okay. It's okay to not like things. And it's okay to turn it off.
Yeah, well, and I like what you said about, you know, taking the stigma away from just leaving, like, and being allowed to do that, because I don't think people remember that they can just do that. They're so persistent on fucking fitting into.
Everyone's gonna watch this special. Mold. I have to watch this special. Everyone's gonna do it. I have to do it.
And sometimes you just don't have to be part of that.
One of my favorite things to do, and it pisses off a lot of people. And it's probably why I don't have too many friends, but it keeps me relatively sane. Is just saying no. It's like sometimes you just got to say no, walk away, and, you know, enjoy it another day. And I hope you come back and enjoy this podcast another day, because I appreciate you folks listening. We'll have a little message here at the end. Like, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do these end messages, but there'll be a little something about what's going on and what's coming up. Katie, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, Katie will be here on a lot of these, which is not going to be here on all of these. We'll have like other comics. I think my brother's going to come in and do one, a couple friends of mine. But she will be a regular, if not the regular.
Unless they all decide to kick me off.
Who?
I don't know. Them.
This isn't Survivor.
Okay.
This ain't a democracy.
No voting.
Yeah. Anyways, you foolish fucks, thank you very much for listening. Much love. I hope you have a great day, week, whatever, and we'll talk to you next time. Also, if you have any like interesting stories, news stories you've come across and you'd like to hear us talk about, visit foolishcanuck.com, go to the contact page and fire those off to them. Fire those off to us. We'd love to hear from you. And again, there'll be a little message about stuff at the end. Thank you, guys. Bye. And that's it. Episode 4. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thank you very much for listening. You can visit foolishcanuck.com for all information about the podcast, my stand-up, dates I got coming up, and all that kind of fun stuff. Also, what else? Well, you can follow us on Twitter at Foolish Canuck. And if you have any headlines, stories that you come across that you find funny, interesting, and you'd like to get our take on it, fire them off. Visit the website, hit the contact page, and let us know what you think about the article and send us the link. And if we find them interesting, we'll talk about them on the podcast. And I think that's it. That's it for today. If you want to support us, at the bottom of the website, there's a link and a bunch of different ways you can support, from spreading the word, sharing our content, and talking about us on your podcast, blogs, or whatever. Or you can become a patron on Patreon. I'm always going to fuck that up. As well as you can donate directly through PayPal, should you feel so inclined. Anyway, thank you very much. That's it. Quick intro and outros this week. We will see you next week. New episode on Monday. Then we'll do another one on Thursday, and we'll try and keep that kind of a cycle going. And yeah, that's it. So once again, I hope y'all have a great weekend. I don't know why I said y'all. I'm Canadian. We don't generally say that. Anyway, have a good weekend. Much love, and thanks for listening.